Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, and I am excited for this video today because this is something that I have been reading about pretty frequently lately, and I just wanted to kind of add my story to the mix. So as you can tell from the title, this is my birth control story. Basically, let's just preface this whole thing by saying I am not a doctor. As some of you may know, I do work for a doctor. I do. And, you know, I love working for this doctor, so I may have a little bit more insight than other people to certain things, but this isn't meant to be an advice video. This isn't meant to be me telling you what you shouldn't take and what you should take, and you know, this is just my story. This is just what happened to me. This is just my take on everything. So here we go. So I got my first period, like, I think I was 13 or 14 when I got it, because I got it very shortly after my cousin. It was like a week later than her, and she's like 2 years younger than me. So there's that. I didn't go on birth control or anything when I was younger. I just let it go. I had really bad cramps when I was younger, and my mom has endometriosis, my aunt had endometriosis, my grandma had endometriosis, so it's kind of like a running theme in my family. So I was prepared for really painful periods. Basically, I would have really severe cramps, I'd have blood clots, I'd have like all sorts of stuff, and I remember like the second period I ever got, I almost passed out from the pain, and it was absolutely insane. But I never went on birth control or anything like that. And then summer of 2000, I've got my notes here, summer of 2014, we had just moved into a different house, and I was still living with Zach, and you know, I just didn't want to use condoms really anymore, and I started having really severe ovarian pain in my right side, and the cramps and everything were really bad. My flow was extremely bad, and so I just didn't want to deal with it anymore. So I was like, you know what, let's just take care of all of it together, and let's get on some birth control, right? So I had just recently gotten insurance for my job as well, so I had the opportunity to go see my doctor. I picked out a primary care physician. She did a whole physical on me, did the full, you know, pelvic exam and pap and everything, and said that, you know, after I told her my symptoms, she said it might be an ovarian cyst. She'd put me on some birth control to see if it would help, and if it didn't help, then I'd have to go see a gynecologist and like get it figured out and do an ultrasound and things like that. So she started me on Avera, and it was great. I was on it for 3 months, and I had crazy cravings on that. Like the first period I had on it, I felt like I was going to die if I did not eat Chips Ahoy, and then the second one, I felt like I was going to die if I did not eat hot tamales. And I don't remember what the last one was, but the last one, my flow came back just as heavy, my cramps came back, and the ovarian pain came back. So I was like, okay. So I shot her an email. I'm like, hey, here's what's going on, you know, should we try something stronger or whatever? So then she changed me to Sprintec, and Sprintec is one of the most popular birth control pills that's out there. Plenty of women are on it. So like I said, you know, if you're on Sprintec and you're watching this video, I don't want you to be like, oh my god, like I need to stop taking it because Marcy said to stop taking it because she works for that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I took it, and I took it for 2 years. So again, the first 3 months, it helped immensely. I wasn't having any cravings that time. I was starting to have some mood swings. My sex drive did decrease from that, but not enough that I really noticed it. And my mood swings weren't enough that I really was like, oh my god, like, you know, I need to do something about this. Like, it wasn't that bad. So I had taken it for 3 months, and then it helped the first 3 months, and then the same thing happened again, and it was extremely painful, extreme ovarian pain, incapacitating ovarian pain. And Zach's like, well, maybe, you know, you just switch to this one from a different one. Maybe you've never been on hormones, and you're 22 years old. Maybe your body just needs to adjust to being on hormones. So maybe you should be on it for like 6 months to a year. And I was like, okay, you know, we'll do that, and then we'll recheck with my doctor in however much time. So by the time that I realized it had been 6 months to a year, it had been 2 years. So at this point, I'm still taking it because Zach and I were still having unprotected sex, but I was still having, like, we weren't using condoms or anything, but I was still having extreme ovarian pain. I was still having periods. I was still having, like, I wasn't supposed to be skipping periods or anything, but I was still having, like, a heavy period that I shouldn't have. And then towards the end of me taking Sprintex, so this is like this year, so January of 2016, I started having really bad, like, my periods were so off. Like, it would come for like 2 days, and then it would go away for a week, and then it would come back, and that was on the birth control. It's like, okay, the birth control is supposed to be helping regulate this. What the hell is going on? So, I went to go see my doctor because I had had a really bad cold and, you know, wanted to be treated for that, and also told her about that. I was like, you know, this is what's happening, and she's like, okay, I can't do anything else for you, it's time to go see a gyno. So, I had talked with Zach about it, and I didn't really want to even be on birth control anymore because a lady in my office that I work with had breast cancer, and her cancer was estrogen positive, meaning it came from the birth control, because they had put her on birth control for like menopause prevention or something like that. So I just didn't want to be on the pill anymore. I didn't want to do it anymore. I was like, you know, we'll go back to condoms, whatever. You know, I've noticed at this point, after talking to Zach about it, like, it was actually in May of this year, so May 2016, when I really started noticing some mood changes. I started noticing that my sex drive had decreased severely. Well, not as severely, but it was pretty bad, and, you know, even Zach had noticed it, so I was like, okay, like, I'll go find a gynecologist. So I have Kaiser insurance right now, so luckily with Kaiser you can, like, go online and look a physician up and, like, get lots of information on them and what they're about, so that's what I did. And I went to her, and I told her everything that was going on, and I was like, you know what, to tell you that my periods are irregular is crazy, and it's so true because I scheduled this appointment around my period, boom, here it is. So they still did the pelvic exam and everything on me. She didn't think it was an ovarian cyst, and she thought it was just like a muscle spasm. So I told her that endometriosis and ovarian cysts were run in my family, and so she was like, okay, well, you know, she said I had no option but to be on a hormonal birth control. And hormonal birth control is not only a pill, but there's like the IUD, the shot you get, which is called Depo, and then the little thing that you can, like, that they inject inside you and, like, releases hormones. I don't want that, but I didn't want to be on hormonal birth control, but she told me I had no choice if I didn't want to deal with the pain. So she said, even though it's probably not an ovarian cyst, I'm going to schedule you for an MRI, like, I'll send in, or a ultrasound, so we can, you know, you can go make an appointment for that. I'll send in the referral. And then she also sent out a referral for a pelvic pain specialist downtown, and then a vaginal physical therapist in Boulder. Okay, first of all, I have a high deductible, so I'm not going to go pay a huge copay and all this stuff for a pelvic pain specialist who's going to tell me to take ibuprofen and do Kegels and go see the physical therapist, and I'm not going to go pay my copayment to go see the physical therapist who's going to tell me how to do Kegels and then stick their finger up in there while I'm doing it. Like, no, not doing it, not happening, not happening at all. That's an absolute no-go for me. So I just kind of wrote those referrals off. You know, when they called, I was like, hey, yeah, I don't want to really make an appointment here. I don't think it's going to do anything for me. It's not what I want. So I did not go see them. However, the next day I did go to my ultrasound because I wanted to find out. Now, if you don't want to hear the dirty details about this ultrasound, because they're not fun, skip ahead like 4 minutes and I'll see you when we come back. So, I give you fair warning. Last chance. Okay. So, they make you come to an ultrasound with a full bladder. If you've ever had a baby or an ultrasound, then you know what this is like, but you have to drink, dang, I have my water bottle over here, but you have to drink 32 ounces prior to coming in to get the ultrasound. So I had to pee like crazy. So I'm like, Zach drove me, I'm laying there like, oh my god, and they're doing the ultrasound, like they take this little wand thing and they put it on your abdomen, and it's like getting like ultrasound, like x-ray pictures of the inside of your uterus and everything. So that is what they did, and took some pictures, and then you have to go pee everything out, and then they'll do the vaginal ultrasound, which is here's where it gets real bad in case you stayed. But it's like this long wand thing with the x-ray thing on the end, and they just shove it on up in there and they move it around, and it hurt so bad. It hurt because they were pushing on my cyst. It hurt because, or whatever, they were pushing on the place that hurt, which was already hurting anyway. Then they were, because I was on my period, and then they were like, it just was not a good feeling. And then even when I had the pelvic exam, it hurt so bad after my doctor did that, and it was not a fun experience. And I'm like laying there like, you know, Zach went with me, and I'm like, oh my god, this is really awkward, like, we're just looking for a cyst, like, hopefully the next time I go like, get an ultrasound, it's because I'm looking for a baby, because that was just not a fun experience at all, like, was not worth it to come up with nothing, because my doctor emailed me later saying that it was negative, it came back normal. So what went on from there was she put me on the Lavora birth control, which is this birth control. Now this one is my favorite for packaging wise, that's it. So basically, it comes like this, and you get all these little pills, and all of these white pills are your hormones, and then the orange pills that are 7 days worth are the sugar pills. And basically, if you've never taken a birth control pill, it's so you, while you're on your period, like you take all these, you don't have a period, and then you take these 7 and you have a period, and the only reason you're taking the placebo sugar pills is because you're in that same routine of like, oh, I have to take a pill in the morning or after work or whatever, whenever you would schedule to take it. So I was taking those for a month, and this is my second pack, and the thing I was supposed to do with this was take it continuously. So I was not supposed to take the orange pills, and the pharmacist did assure me that there is a brand name of birth control pills that doesn't even come with the placebo pills, like it's just straight the hormone pills, but this is just a cheaper way of doing that, which is totally fine. But what had happened was I was about to skip or not skip my first period, so I got to Thursday, because like once you get to this bottom week, then you're supposed to like call in your refill, and so you can start taking them, like you take more hormone pills this week. So I got to Thursday, and I like had a complete and total breakdown. Like Zach and I had been fighting a lot, and it was me instigating the fights, and I was talking to him and telling him how negative he'd been and like all this stuff, and he's like, I haven't said anything. Like I just would wake up in the morning like upset, and my sex drive at that point was at a 0, and it was horrible, and I like didn't want to have sex. I didn't get off when we had sex. I mean, it was not fun. And I was really in a bad place. I was extremely depressed. I was down on the world. I was down on myself. I was extremely suicidal feeling. I didn't want to have kids anymore. I was like on the verge of just letting Zach take off from the bus and like just, you know, blowing my head off or something. Like I didn't want to do it anymore. I didn't want to, I mean, there's a lot of negativity in the world. There is a lot of negativity in the world, period. And a lot of that kind of read into it. It was like, oh, well, you know, I don't want to raise kids in this kind of thing. I don't even want to be alive in this kind of thing. And that's not who I am. That's not who I've ever been. I'm always positive about things, and so that was very, very weird for me to go through that. And even like it was that Friday morning, the Friday that I stopped taking it, I was like bawling my eyes out before work, and we were like trying to figure it out. And Zach's like, you know, how long have you felt this way? You know, what's not making you happy? Is the bus not making you happy? Am I not making you happy? And it's like, I sat there and thought about it. It's like, no, I'm happy in the bus. I'm excited that we're doing this. I'm excited to go to travel in the bus. I'm happy with you. You know, you're the only guy I've ever, like, you're my husband. You know, I'm not happy with you. And I know I don't not want kids. Like, I definitely want kids. So I don't even know why I said all of that. So I stopped taking my birth control that Friday. And 3 days after, I was so happy. Like, I felt like a normal person again. I did get kind of nauseous and stuff, and I'll go over those symptoms in a minute, because that's what I've read about, is the people's symptoms that they've had after stopping the birth control. But I was so happy. Like, I could see the depression. Like, I could turn around and look at it like, what the hell? Like, it was absolutely insane. And again, not a doctor, not saying don't take this, but here's the kicker. You ready? Lavora. Most birth control pills are like 2 different kinds of estrogen, or estrogen and progesterone, just depending on what your needs are, on what your doctor prescribes for you, on whatever. So that's what I was on. The Lavora is also Levlin or Nordet, and it is 0.03 milligrams of estradiol, so it's estrogen, and then the other part of it is levonorgestrel. That one. So, when I looked it up that day, I was like, okay, let's just go see what else is in this. Let's look up the reviews, because I had looked up reviews, because I know everybody's different. Some people take birth control just for acne. Some people take birth control for prevention of babies. Some people take it for prevention of menopause, just all sorts of things, right? So I looked up the reviews just to see what it was doing for people. And when I looked it up, I looked up the levonorgestrel first, And all it came up with was the morning after pill. I'm like, what? What? So yeah, this birth control pill right here is the morning after pill. So you're not supposed to take that every day. Now next time you find yourself in the condom aisle, like, you know, if you just happen to wander down there, like I actually urge you to go wander down there. But the last time I was down there was buying condoms because I'm not taking these anymore. And I looked up at the Plan B and the morning after pill and like everything that they're called, and it just says straight levonorgestrel, 0.15 milligrams. And I'm like, oh my god, here it is, the morning after pill that's so expensive that you have to have a prescription for in a 30-day supply. You're not supposed to take that every day. Like, you're supposed to take it for, you know, if you were drunk and you forgot to use the condom, or you don't know what happened, or you were just too into it and it just felt too good. Like, I get it, that's fine, but you're not supposed to take it every day. I was so depressed. I did not want to be on this earth anymore on this stuff. Like, that's awful. Now, again, I'm not saying don't take it. I'm just saying this is what happened to me. But definitely be honest with your doctors. Definitely be open with them about what's going on with you, what's going on with your life, how you feel. If you don't want to take a hormonal birth control, tell them that. Be like, you know what, I know that you think that's what's best for me, but I don't. Because it all boils down to what is actually truly 100% better for you. So, I am no longer down on myself. I'm extremely confident in myself again now. I feel happy. I feel normal. I feel great. I feel like I didn't want to film videos anymore. I wasn't posting on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, YouTube, nothing. I wasn't making videos aside from the Demi Lovato look that I did, and I'll link my depression kind of update story down below because it does talk some about this as well. But I didn't want to film anymore. Like, it was terrible, and now here I am filming, and I've got like a schedule, and I'm gonna have blog posts this week. Like, what? Like, it's crazy. Even you can go back and read my last 2 blog posts since I haven't posted yet. My last 2 blog posts I'll just link down below, and they're like, you can hear the depressed tone of voice that I use, and it's awful, and I don't like it, but I'm gonna leave them because it's part of my life. So the symptoms that I had after I stopped taking the birth control, obviously I felt happier. I was nauseous. I have ovarian pain. The first period I had, because I was supposed to skip that period, and so I had to be like rushed into that period. It was very painful. Only lasted for 3 days. My boobs have gotten bigger, I want to say. Some people said their boobs got perkier. Like, I was down to like a C cup, and I was never a C cup. I've always been a D cup. And it's like, yeah, you can lose weight, but like, I don't know. They've been sensitive. They've been extremely sensitive, and not just like, you know, to touch or anything. They've been sensitive. Like, if I push on them, they hurt, kind of thing. But other than that, I've had a couple headaches, but it's your body adjusting to its normal hormones, not getting all these random things thrown in. But I am very happy now. Zach says that I'm a completely different person. He says that I act and I seem more like when he first met me. And it's really, really crazy. It's really crazy. It's really shitty that I had to go through that. But I am very happy now. I'm very happy with where I am in life right now. I'm very happy to have overcome this, because I will do a separate, like, other depression story, because I've gone through depression. This will be the 3rd time. So that's how it's going to go. But I just want to let you guys know on this update, because I did the update video and I didn't kind of touch on everything that was going on. So just so you guys know, I'm extremely happy now. And I love my life now, and it's great. So if you guys have any crazy birth control stories, let me know down below, or hit me up on any of my social medias. And there's Wasp. Ha! No, get out of my video. Yep, that's a great clip for the video. I should use that as a thumbnail. Ha! Anyway, so let me know your birth control stories. If you're on birth control and you love it, let me know. Yeah, and I'll talk to you guys all later. Bye!